Luchino Visconti starring Dirk Bogarde as Gustav von Aschenbach. Genre: drama, art film. Language: English, Italian. Runtime: 2 hours. Set in the early 1900s, death in Venice follows Gustav von Aschenbach, a renowned German composer, changed from a writer in the novella, who is mentally and physically exhausted. Seeking rest and inspiration, he travels to Venice, staying at the luxurious Hotel des Bains on the Lido Island. There, he becomes increasingly withdrawn, reflecting on themes of beauty, perfection, aging, and art. The city of Venice itself is portrayed as both beautiful and decaying, a reflection of Gustav's inner turmoil. While at the hotel, Gustav notices a Polish family, particularly a stunningly beautiful teenage boy named Tadzio. The boy, around 14 years old, is the embodiment of physical beauty and youthful perfection to Gustav, who becomes mesmerized. Gustav never speaks to Tadzio but watches him obsessively from a distance. His feelings are a mix of admiration, aesthetic fascination, and suppressed desire. This silent obsession consumes him and begins to overpower his reason. Meanwhile, rumors of a cholera outbreak begin to spread across Venice. Authorities try to suppress the news to protect tourism. Gustav becomes aware of the danger but does not leave. His fixation on Tadzio keeps him in the city. Gustav, slowly deteriorating in health and spirit, has a strange hair-dyeing scene in which he attempts to recapture his youth. His once proud intellectualism is collapsing under the weight of irrational passion. As Venice becomes more desolate and eerie due to the spreading disease, Gustav follows Tadzio through the city, like a ghost haunting beauty. The city becomes symbolic. Beauty surrounded by decay, pleasure surrounded by death. The haunting final scene: Gustav sits alone on a beach chair, dressed formally, watching Tadzio walk gracefully along the shore, pointing toward the horizon. Gustav tries to rise, but collapses silently in his chair. He dies of a heart attack while gazing at the boy, a tragic image of defeated intellect and surrendered will. As the sun sets and the waves roll in, his body is quietly removed from the beach. The pursuit of beauty, inner decay versus outer perfection. Obsession and repression. Death as a companion to art. The decline of Western culture. The story begins with Gustav von Aschenbach, an aging German composer. In the novella, he is a writer who is physically and emotionally exhausted. Seeking rest and inspiration, he travels alone to Venice, a city of haunting beauty and mystery. From the start, Venice is portrayed as both a dream and a trap, ethereal and decaying. The canals, the fog, and the sound of distant music create an eerie atmosphere. Aschenbach checks into the opulent but slightly worn Grand Hotel des Bains on the Lido Island. There, he notices a beautiful Polish family, especially their young son, Tadzio, a 14-year-old boy with strikingly angelic features. Tadzio becomes the embodiment of ideal beauty in Aschenbach's eyes, a living work of art. Aschenbach begins observing Tadzio from a distance, at the beach, in the hotel, and during walks. He never speaks to the boy but becomes quietly obsessed. Tadzio's every movement becomes symbolic to him. He sees in the boy not just physical beauty, but *** the platonic ideal of beauty and youth **, something Aschenbach once strived to capture in his art. At the same time, Venice begins to feel more oppressive. Aschenbach notices that the city seems emptier. People avoid talking about something, and a strange disinfectant smell lingers in the air. When he asks the hotel staff, they dismiss it. Eventually, Aschenbach learns that a cholera epidemic is spreading through Venice, but the authorities are covering it up to avoid panic. He considers leaving, but he cannot. Tadzio is still there. His obsession keeps him bound to the doomed city. He attempts to regain his youth, dyeing his hair, applying makeup, wearing elaborate clothes, all to look younger, more vital, perhaps more appealing. This descent is both pitiful and tragic. His once dignified presence is slowly being consumed by vanity, fantasy, and decay. He continues following Tadzio through the streets, beaches, and hotel halls, always silent, distant. There is never a real interaction. But in Aschenbach's mind, he is engaged in a deep and divine communion with beauty. On the final day, Aschenbach sees Tadzio playing on the beach. The sun is shining, the waves are calm, and everything appears serene. But Aschenbach's body is failing. He collapses in a chair on the beach, staring at the boy in the distance. Tadzio walks into the water, his figure haloed by the sunlight. He turns and raises his arm toward the horizon, perhaps pointing, perhaps beckoning. Aschenbach watches in awe, overcome with emotion and weakness. And then, Aschenbach dies. Alone, in his chair, with no one noticing. His hat falls, his head tilts back, and the camera lingers as his soul departs, still captivated by the unreachable ideal. Symbolism and deeper meaning. Tadzio is not a character with depth. He is a symbol of divine beauty, youth, and the ephemeral nature of perfection. Venice, once a glorious city, now sinking and diseased, mirrors Aschenbach's inner collapse. Aschenbach's death is both physical and artistic. He is consumed by the thing he spent his life worshipping, beauty. Art and obsession. Visconti's adaptation emphasizes visuals, Long, quiet scenes, stunning compositions, and Mahler's Adagietto from Symphony No. 5 as the emotional backbone of the film. The music, cinematography, and silent performances give it a dreamlike, and at times nightmarish. Conclusion. Death in Venice is not about action, but about internal descent, a meditation on art, mortality, and the price of idealization. It shows how the pursuit of perfect beauty can lead to emotional ruin, especially when that beauty is projected onto something fragile, untouchable, and fleeting.